Hi, it's Jonathan from Platinum Property Partners. Question quite frequently asked is analysis all great, but how much cash does someone actually need to get a house like this? So going to run through a very quick synopsis of this. There are some abbreviations and simplifications, but hopefully this gives you a very good flavour and idea. So let's imagine that we had a starting price. So this is a house that you bought, a normal residential house, 350,000 quid. I appreciate across the country it might vary a bit, but it's just an example one here. So to own this property, you're going to need to spend some money. So what I've got here, we've got buying it with a mortgage, standard 75%, so 87,500 quid of your money goes down as a deposit, and you borrow the 260 odd grand to make up the difference. You're also then going to need some conveyancing, valuation perhaps as well, so about 1,500 quid for that sort of stuff, and the stamp duty too, so about 18 grand for that. So for you to get the keys to the property, you're going to need about £107,000 worth of your money as liquid funds to get the assets that you now own. Okay, so our model is about HMOs clearly, so you then need to convert that property into an HMO, and that's going to cost some money as well. So the actual reconfiguring it, the internal restructuring of that, it varies clearly depending on the condition of the house and what you want to do with it, but I've put an average here of 95,000 quid for that. Okay, when the builder leaves, you've got a perfectly repositioned 6-bed, 4-bath property. You're then going to need to fill it with furniture, so the beds, the wardrobes, the crockery, the corkscrew, all of that sort of stuff. And for a 6-bed house, around 11-ish thousand quid for that too. During all this time, you've incurred some interest from the original mortgage. So again, it will fluctuate a little bit, but somewhere between 8 and 10 grand. I think this is done for about 4 months here. So you incur that cost as interest is rolled up as well. Okay, so if you add that expenditure to the original completion monies, you're now at a peak of 221,000 quid. That's gone in from your funds to get from a position where you didn't own an asset to now owning it, to now it being an HMO, and you're ready to welcome your first tenant in through the door. Okay, now you do get a kicker here, okay, because you've bought a house at 350 grand and you spent 95,000 pounds on it. We are looking at buying a house that needs some work doing to it anyway. So we're looking for the valuation to go in, increase significantly. So you're driving value into your asset. Basically, if you spend money on any house, you're going to improve the value of it. What we're doing is we're increasing the habitable space, we're increasing the amenities and the facilities. So you're looking to drive back the money that you spend on the refurbishment into the uplift of the valuation. Okay, things like the furniture, things like the interest, things like the stamp duty, you're not going to get that sort of stuff back. But certainly the money that you spend on the fabric of the building, we're looking to recoup that with a new valuation. Now, the lenders are also a little bit more aggressive or comfortable when it comes to a trading asset, and accordingly, you can now go up to 80% loan to value on the mortgage as well. So 80% of 445 is 356. Okay, now if you remember, our previous mortgage was at 262. So there's a decent gap difference there, okay? And that is just over 94,000 pounds, something like that. So that money comes back to you once the asset is revalued as an HMO. We see this time and time again. People take that cash back out, then they put it back into the next project that they do for the refurbishment monies as well. Okay, so your settled cash, this is the money that you've got tied up in the assets, which for the avoidance of doubt, you can't recoup. It's your sunk investment into it. In this instance, is just under 130,000 quid. Okay, so when you're asking yourself how big a portfolio can you get to, it's how many times from your existing wealth can you multiply that through with an additional working capital facility for the refurbishment, but there are options around that to be able to borrow that too as well. So hopefully that's helped. It's just a very quick run through in terms of liquidity needs to go from not owning a property to owning it to having it as an HMO. Thank you.